You know your thoughts aren't rational. Not everyone in the event is staring at you and judging you, but having that understanding and that logic doesn't prevent your emotions from running wild. We know that you can't stop or change emotion from understanding logic, but how can you? By taking action. In this video, I'm going to give you a technique called the Decoy technique that's going to help if you're looking to enjoy yourself and relax in social situations a bit more. Treatment for social anxiety ranges from pharmaceutical drug prescriptions to therapy, but one of the treatment options which has no downside and a strong upside is simply developing a stronger social skill set. This enables you to better figure out what's going on around you and be calm and confident in the environment. And if this is something that you're looking to improve in, I put together a free social invincibility checklist. You can touch up here if you're on a mobile device, or you can click right here if you're on a desktop. It's free and it'll give you a list of things that you can go through to become aware of, to think about before you go into a social setting. The Decoy technique hinges on social momentum and rhythm. And I know you may be thinking, hey, with social anxiety, when you jump in the pool, telling somebody to establish a social rhythm is kind of like telling someone who's drowning to go into a perfect crawl form when they're just trying to keep their head above water. But this technique and this strategy is going to be more like showing you how to wade in the water, slowly get comfortable in the water, and then slowly and very methodically start to take a small controlled stroke. So I'd like to for you to think of it that way. So it's 3 steps. And these are steps to set you up when you have a big event. Maybe it's a networking event. Maybe it's a birthday party. It's something where there's going to be a lot of people and you feel a lot of anxiety about before. There's 3 steps that are going to get you there. Number 1 is the telephone. So you're going to call somebody up who you have no anxiety talking to. Maybe it's a family member. Maybe it's someone you've known for a long time, but you have no anxiety. And simply talking to them, although this doesn't get your body ready for the anxiety you're going to feel, the social pressure you're going to feel, it engages your social mind. So it's going to get your brain and the social parts of your brain turned on. Blood actually flows to them. There's more energy going to them. So they're ready to interact on a social level. Very easy to do. Just do it for 5 to 15 minutes to engage that part of your brain. That's the first step. You're wading in the water while you're doing that. The next step is you're going to meet someone, once again, who you're very comfortable with, who you know very well, have very little anxiety about talking to, either in the venue, if there's a restaurant and a bar in the venue that's not at the actual place that the event's being held, go there, or somewhere around there. Maybe it's a block away, maybe it's a couple blocks away. You're going to meet the person there and slowly start to orient your body to what it's like being in those social environments. You're going to feel that social anxiety just from being around other people, but you're with someone that you know and you're very comfortable with, to wade into it, to not jump into it from, a cold plunge where the water's 50 degrees and you're jumping in. You're going to sit with them for 15 to 30 minutes. If you drink alcohol, have a drink or 2. We all know that alcohol is a social lubricant. It can lower it down. We also know statistically people with social anxiety have a higher propensity for alcoholism, so be careful with that. But if it's something you do, no problem having a drink or 2 to kind of reduce the social anxiety you have on that method. We're hitting it from a bunch of fronts. If you don't, that's fine too. Get comfortable in the environment. Allow your body to orient. So now we've engaged our social mind. We got that going with the phone call. Now we've met at a restaurant, a place in public where we may be feeling some of that anxiety. We're starting to train our body, to give our body a minute to orient and get used to that kind of environment. Now the third thing is the decoy. And what the decoy is you're going to have somebody who's already at the event that you know you're going to go talk to immediately, and you know exactly what you're going to talk to them about. Now I'm going to tell you what this does, and then afterwards I'm going to tell you how to set it up. So what this does is once you jump in and you immediately talk to that person, it's going to do 2 things. First of all, it's going to show everyone else at that party, in that environment, that you are social. So they're going to get used to treating you when you do interact with them like a more social person, as opposed to someone who just stands in the corner and everyone's like, oh, that guy's probably pretty shy. That guy probably doesn't have much to say. They're going to see you like that, so they're going to treat you as having higher status and being more confident, which can be a self-fulfilling prophecy. Secondly, and more importantly, it tells your brain or your subconscious that it's okay to be social in these environments, that it's a safe place. No one's coming to harm you from talking to someone else. So now you're talking to your buddy. You know what you're talking to them about. Doesn't have to be your buddy. I shouldn't say that. Somebody who is predetermined to be at the party or the event when you get there. Now, how do you set this up? Well, you can do it 3 different ways. So number 1, if you have a really good friend who's aware of the social anxiety you feel, just explain it to him. Say, hey, I found that when I got somebody right away to bounce into, to talk to, to kind of get the wheels turning, it works really well. Otherwise, you can just tell someone beforehand, hey, I wanted to talk to you about this. Right when I get to the party, why don't we address it, knock it out there? It'd be a better time than I'm trying to get out of here right now. Or third, if you're in a panic, what if it's an event that you didn't know you had to go to? You got to go. If you know one person who's there, just text them and say, hey, I'm coming to this event. Are you there? And they're like, yeah. Be like, okay, cool. Right when I get there, let me know when you're going to be. I'm going to come in. I got something I want to talk to you about. Okay. Very easy to set up that decoy. But once that decoy is in place, it's going to allow you to take that third step to establish that momentum. Now, if when you're in an event like this, you're kind of confused about what you see around you. You know, someone does something and everyone responds in a specific way and you don't really understand it. That's very common when people have social anxieties and maybe don't have the strongest social skill sets. But if that's something that you want to improve and you want to get your entire social ability to the next level, I've got a program called the Social Invincibility Program that goes through this whole thing in its entirety to get you to a level of proficiency and competency. It may not take away all the social anxiety, but like I said, it will help you improve your social skills so you have that aspect handled so you can be confident that even though you know you feel this certain way, you're doing the right thing. Once again, you can understand and rest assured that you're acting in right ways, you're behaving in proper ways for that environment. So if you want to check that program out, you can touch right up here if you're on your phone or your iPad or mobile device, or you can click right here to check it out as well. So I would really encourage you to try this out. Any social momentum that you can establish in any specific way using, even if it's all 3 of these on separate occasions, maybe you can't use them all together, maybe you can use 2, or maybe you can use 1. Any social momentum that you can begin to build is going to be hugely powerful and a great tool for you to have in your kit when you do have social anxiety.